Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are going to today talk to you about 5 reasons that you should not buy a new built home.
Yes.
Which is wild because who wouldn't want a brand new house, right?
But there are some downsides and some negatives.
There are, and most people don't know. So we're here to tell you the inside scoop. So, of course, everyone wants to buy a brand new home. Like, who wouldn't? They're gorgeous. They're brand new. They're clean. No one has lived in them.
True.
They're far more energy efficient than older homes. They're better insulated. You can save money on your utilities. But there are some downsides and a lot of hidden costs that we want to tell you guys about.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
number 1,
Hidden costs.
a lot of them. So basically what you see, new builds will advertise like base price is $400,000, for example. But by the time you get there, and if you were to buy a house, you're probably looking at, you would need to add even upwards of $100,000 to their base prices.
Yes.
The base prices do not cover lot premiums, right?
Refrigerators.
Yeah, a lot of builders don't work refrigerators. Sometimes air conditioning is not included.
Window coverings.
Yes, window coverings are never included. Anytime you buy a brand new house, you're going to have to go out and spend however much money it is for blinds and curtains and things like that. So
It can be misleading when you walk into those model homes.
yes,
You
that's
think,
the thing. It's
this
misleading.
is what I'm buying.
Yes.
Well, in a sense, but everything that you see, all the fancy tile, all the pretty little fixtures, those are going to cost you extra.
The model homes, especially they're there to sell you. They're staged beautifully, and the model homes are going to have all the upgrades possible.
Yes.
So all the shiplap walls and, the designer features that you have, the stone tile in secondary bathroom,
Right.
And they look really pretty. They have the premium flooring and the premium countertops and the premium cabinets.
Yes.
And lighting. Yeah. And all that stuff. All that stuff is extra. Right, fireplaces are extra. And the lot premiums. We were just visiting a new build community in Denver.
Yep.
They had lot premiums of $100,000 up to $300,000. They said.
$1,000.
So yeah, it was crazy. So for a lot that back to open space, you could build the same house as a house across the street, but for $300,000 more. Right. But yeah, so there's a lot of hidden costs. Like we said, lot premiums are a big one. There's
Basements.
never
Finished.
Never. They will never come standard finished if they come at all. The models, of course, the basement will be finished. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
But not.
Playroom, theater. Doesn't come with the home you buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even seen some builders won't include the garage door.
Garage door opener. Yeah.
That's separate.
True story.
Crazy.
Yeah. So small things and big things to consider when you're walking through that model home. It is stunning. Every model home is stunning.
Because they want you to like it and want to buy it. But it is, again, anywhere from at least another $30,000 on the base price up to $100,000. Just know that when you're going into it, there's going to be a lot of other costs associated on top of that base price. Right. And then as you were saying, Lauren, window covering, that's not even an option. Most builders won't even, give it to you. No. It's just something you have to budget for after closing. Yep. And same also with washers and dryers. New builds hardly ever come with washers and dryers. So that's another $2,000 right there. Right. That you have to budget for if you're buying a new build.
Yes.
Right. Keep these things in mind.
Definitely. And I guess to roll into our second one, which kind of ties with hidden costs, is going to be a metro district. So a lot of you maybe know what a homeowners association is. That usually is paid for. It's a separate payment that comes out. Usually, at least in Highlands Ranch where I live, is every quarter. Sometimes places are different. You can pay annually. You can pay every 6 months. Kind of changes. But a metro district is a little bit different.
Yes. So a metro district, and this is something very common in Colorado. Almost every new build community in Colorado, if you want to buy a new home, even in the last 10, 15 years, you're buying into a home that has a metro district, right? Metro district is a special taxing district. So basically your property taxes are higher. You're taxed at a higher rate than the older neighborhoods, right? And the reason they do this is it's the builder's way of recouping costs and like paying themselves back for the infrastructure that goes into building, you know, a new neighborhood. Right. Which there is a lot. You know, if you think about it, this was dirt fields before these houses were built. Yeah. So they have to come in and put roads in, sidewalks, sewers, street lights, all those things cost money. Right. And this is their way of giving that back. So basically for the next 30 years until those bonds are paid off for all this infrastructure, you pay for it in the way of higher taxes.
Right. So it's not a separate payment like an HOA. It will just come out of your property tax, essentially.
Yeah. So your property tax is like, I actually live in a metro district, and my home is valued at like $525 for my condo. And I pay over $5,000 a year in property taxes. And then there's an older neighborhood that was built in the 70s, right across the street from me. And for a $700,000 house, they only pay like $3,500 a year in taxes. Yeah, because they're not in the metro district. Very good point. So know that it's not only, you know, costs up front for these beautiful new homes, but there's going to be costs, you know, for years down the road that are also associated with these homes.
Definitely.
Flip side, though, I guess you don't have to worry about as much maintenance.
That's true.
Older home, you do have to worry about things breaking. So that's great. Yeah, those property taxes, they'll get you. Just something to be aware of. Yeah, you know, like new builds are definitely worth it, but it's much better, I think, when people are aware of what they're getting into versus, you know, I've talked to a lot of people, they buy a house and they see what their monthly payment is with taxes and insurance. Yeah, like, where did this come from? Why is it like this? Right. And metro districts are not well understood. They're not explained well by the builder or by,
no, they're not.
You know, they're not very well understood by anybody. The only reason, well, we're realtors, so that's why we understand them. Right. But, and I'm an HOA president, so that's actually why we understand them. Really well. A lot of other realtors don't even know metro districts, to be honest. It's a foreign concept. And they really only started within the last 15 years. Yeah, before that, there really wasn't metro districts. Right. In Colorado, at least. I can't speak for other states.
Yeah. We know Colorado.
Yeah.
Number 3, we're going to talk about typically in a new build, at least in Colorado, you do tend to get a smaller yard and a more privacy.
Yes. So it's a great rule of thumb to follow that the newer the house in the Denver metro area, the smaller your yard. And the older the house, typically the bigger your yard size is. And you get more space. I mean, gorgeous homes, but again, you're right next to your neighbors and they're right next to their neighbors. Right. I mean, you could be in your backyard in some of these, and then a lot of them have fencing rules. Yes. That we're seeing. Yeah. So a lot of the new builds are not allowing you to put up like 6-foot privacy fences. They have to be, you know, fences that you can see through. Right. Which is also an issue if you have large dogs or dogs that can jump a fence. Right. You're going to then also need, you know, a invisible fence probably. Yes. Because, so that's something you would want to check on. There's a lot more rules with it.
And the same thing with little kids too. If you want to just let your little kids go out and play in the backyard, but sometimes I feel a lot better having a large fence, knowing that my kids can't just like put a leg through it. Yeah, it's just kind of a safety issue too, at least.
Yeah, so smaller yard, less privacy. I mean, you could go out in your yard, and I mean, you could be in your yard and you could have a conversation with a neighbor 3 houses down. Yeah, because the yards are small and they're, you know, 3 houses isn't that far away. Right. So definitely a downside to the newer communities. In the Denver area, I would say a large lot is anything over 1/3 of an acre. So a third, if you have a 1/3 acre lot, that's a pretty big lot in the Denver area. Yeah. The new builds are like 0.1 acres, right? 1/10 of an acre, right? So, and on the flip side, most of the new builds, they're all like master planned communities. So they all do have a lot of like green belt space and bike paths and trails and parks that are very close by. Yes. So you know, you still get tons of outdoor recreation. Yeah. But it's not your own. Right. It's truly not your own.
Right. All right. Number 4, we are going to talk about wait time for your new build. When you're customizing a home or just waiting for it to be built in general, there can be some hiccups in there. We were at a training recently and there was a flash flood for a new build community, and putting off that time to get your home built. How long did he say it was? It was like
16 weeks.
Right.
So it put off, people thought they'd be moving in on a certain date.
Right.
And it pushed it out 4 months.
15 weeks.
So that can be hard.
That can be really hard. Very difficult.
It can really mess up
Yes.
people's plans.
Yes. If you have a timeline, if you have to be out of a certain home that you're already in, you're starting a new job. I don't know what that looks like, but everyone typically is kind of on a timeline. So you kind of need to have some flexibility there sometimes with some of these new builds.
Yeah. And the builders make it a little bit difficult. They are accepting contingencies now, but they have these certain rules, like you have to sell your house, you have to put it on the market by this date. And then in order to, move into your new house. And if something then goes wrong and gets delayed, which you don't see a ton of, you see a little bit of it in production homes.
Yeah.
Definitely if you're looking at a custom home though, it's almost always delayed.
Yes.
Right. Just because of there's a lot of labor shortages.
Right.
Builders cannot keep up with the demand.
No.
They cannot build enough homes.
Yeah.
To meet the demand.
Right.
And they don't have enough, anybody.
Yep.
Electricians.
Yeah.
All the trades.
Right.
They're looking for more workers. So it's out of everyone's hands, but it is something you need to think about when buying a new build.
Definitely.
And I would also say, like, even you pick a new build, you pick your lot. Even if you sign the contract that day, you put your earnest money down, you're looking at 8 to 12 months for your home to be built. From that date. So if something goes wrong, if you lose your job in that time, or, you get a job relocation, it can be for really any reason.
Yeah.
You lose your earnest money.
Lose it, and that's a huge downside.
In a lot of cases. Yeah. So there's some risk to it.
There definitely is. I had a friend lose $10,000. Yeah, it was a bummer. Yeah,
But it is.
it happens.
Right, because plans can change.
Plans can change
In 8 to 12 months. I saw a lot of people that were under contract with new builds back when interest rates were in the threes.
I mean, my next point.
Yes, and then by the time their new build was ready to move into, interest rates had doubled. Yep, we're in the sixes.
Right,
and then they couldn't afford
their
the
house
anymore. So they had to pull out, of the contract, but they lost their earnest money.
Right.
So, just something to know.
Yeah.
And by the way, we are licensed real estate brokers here in the state of Colorado, and we would love to help you navigate any of this.
Yes.
If you are thinking about buying a new build, this is what we do. We, sit down and lay this all out for you guys, and we go over everything so that these things, we can mitigate these risks.
Yes.
And just so you guys can be prepared.
Yes.
So
It's a really exciting process to have a brand new home.
it is. There's nothing
It's such a great feeling.
Yeah.
We just want to be mindful and super honest about some of these negatives that can pop up. It doesn't always happen, but it's good to be aware of them.
Yeah, and if you're prepared, it's always better. It's always a better experience.
Yes.
So please reach out to us. Reach out to our number. It's always us.
Yep.
And we'd be more than happy to go and show you the new builds all over Denver. Definitely help you pick the community that's right for you, and make sure that you're prepared for all this back end.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Make it exciting.
Yeah. All right. And our topic number 5 to wrap it up, distance to amenities. We've done a lot of videos on new builds, but just to kind of recap, it can be a drive to amenities. So a lot of these are communities that Hallie said earlier, it's just dirt. It's dirt out in the middle of nowhere. They have to build roads. They have to build new exits. And that comes with kind of a loss. So when you're further out, it takes you far away from certain amenities like a grocery store, a fitness center, your kid's school. Things of that nature.
Bars, doctors, like all the things. And it kind of makes sense. Well, and at least here in Colorado, so, it started, Denver back in the day, Denver started, and as more people came here, it expanded out. And we're still doing that. So we're still building, where there's vacant land. But where there's vacant land in the Denver metro area is far away from where people are already living.
Right.
And the businesses around them. Yeah. And kind of the way it works is, no one's going to go open a bar out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Because it's not going to be sustainable.
Right.
You have to build the houses first. And then once people are living out there, then the businesses come in.
Yes.
Because they realize there's people out there, they can make money.
Yep.
And now they grow how it works.
Yep.
So if you are buying a new build, it won't be forever, but we'll have to wait, 5 to 10 years for, more amenities to be in, a couple distance 2-minute drive or whatever.
Yes. Very good point. The flip side with that, as we've been kind of giving, some pros along with each of these, the beauty of a new build community is they typically do have clubhouses, fitness centers that everyone that lives there can go to. So you can rent out the clubhouse for birthday parties, special events, They usually have pools, they have a fitness center, they have, they have a lot of things like that. And you will have a close proximity to that. But in terms of driving to maybe a grocery store, a lot of new builds that we frequent, I would say rough estimate.
But it is like 10 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
To your grocery store.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
But if you want it, right down the street, 2-minute drive, it's probably not as likely.
Yeah. So, even like gas station. We're in a new build community kind of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they started this new build community 15 years ago. They're still building in like a new phase of it.
Right.
But the nearest grocery stores, I mean, it's more than, around the block.
Yes.
It's probably 8 minutes away. As with the nearest gas station, right, is in the same place.
Right.
So you just have, a little bit further, a little less options, right in your backyard.
Right. But if you're okay with waiting for a little bit, they'll get closer to you. You just have to wait.
Yeah, the businesses will come. The buildings will come.
Yep. I like that.
So to summarize, so 5 reasons just to be aware of before you, get sold on those gorgeous luxury brand new homes.
Yep. Which
they are beautiful, and they
get me every time.
I know they get us every time.
I walk in, I'm like, I want to be like,
oh, we gotta move. We gotta sell more houses so we can buy this one.
I know, seriously, seriously.
Anyway, but just know there are a lot of hidden fees. There are metro districts, which are going to equal higher taxes for years to come. Small yards, lack of privacy. You're going to get really buddy-buddy with your neighbors.
Yeah, hopefully you like them.
Right. It's going to be a long wait time. You're not going to be able to move in right away. It's going to be 8 to 12 months before you can move in.
Yep.
And distance to amenities. It's going to be far. Some things to think about. Definitely. Again, if you are thinking about a new build or want to know more about Colorado or the Denver market, we hope to hear from you.
Yeah, call or email us to the number or email listed below. You'll always get one of us.
Yes.
And we put out 2 new videos every single week. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
And we will hope you join us again soon.
Yeah.